Alright guys, so I took a little time this morning, it's pretty early out, to check on the sway bar. So the blue bar is the Steeda bar, and you can tell it's bigger, and also it protrudes more than the Petters bar. So I'm really hopeful that this fixes all. I mean, look at how much more clearance you're getting from that crank pulley. So yeah, I'm really hopeful that fixes my issue. Again, no knock on Petters. I'm sure the bar is great. Just it doesn't work with my supercharger. So we're going to try installing this thing and seeing if it's a good alternative. I'm not going to do like a full install video, but basically you just snake the bar through there and then you bolt it up down there and you bolt up the end links. If you guys want to see a full video on how to do this, it's going to be right up in your top right corner. And you can check that out, which is a video I've made for how to install the Petters kit. So I tore the old pulley off, and you can see just how much damage there was. This would definitely end up tearing the belt up, so we're going to use this new pulley. It should be real nice, just pain in the butt to have to do it, but it is what it is. So I just came back from a quick test, and the pulley has held up. There's no damage. The Steeda sway bar is definitely much farther back, just because of the shape it has, and because of the different mounting brackets. Now, I did talk to BMR, and they're saying they're about to come out with some new brackets that will also similarly allow for a more aggressive fitment up front, and also farther back if that's what somebody prefers. So I suggest taking a look at the BMR as well. Both seem excellent. I've used BMR in the past. I know they're a great company. I've used Steeda too. They're also a great company. So I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I was also going to show you guys this, but I bought a kayak the other day, so this has been really fun. It's a pretty nice kayak. It's really very stable. I like that you can put the seat up pretty high. I took it out on the lake yesterday. Here's all the fishing stuff I had on the kayak. I really need to clean up in here. It's getting pretty damn messy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the truck in the garage, and we're going to do a couple of little mods to it to improve some of the shortfalls that it has. And then I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of other work to it just to kind of get it really road ready. I'm probably not going to bother putting a lot of that in the channel. I'll just kind of, tell you guys what I did. Really the focus I want to be about the Mustang and kind of sports cars. So for now, let's go ahead and swap these cars around and pull the truck in and get cracking on it. So one of the first things that I want to do is get rid of this third light right here. It's burnt out. Some of it kind of works, but not all of it. And this is always a huge pain point on like every truck I've ever had. So I found LEDs are more reliable. So we're just going to go ahead and throw the LEDs in. So I'm just going to use a screwdriver. I don't recommend a power tool. This is easy to strip stuff. Just keep working on it till the screws are nice and loose. I don't really care that much about my truck's paint, so I'm throwing them up there. I'm going to pull this out. So there you go, you just kind of pull it out, and there's your whole third light. Let's take a new one out. I bought this thing on Amazon. It's one of those Amazon specials. I asked for smoked, but that really looks like chrome, doesn't it? I might have to change it. I mean, at least this thing should, in theory, work. So I'll install it, but I'll probably end up changing it because they said that this is smoked. I mean, I see a little bit of smoke, but damn, that's very chrome. I wasn't kind of shooting for that look. So it looks like you just kind of connect everything, kind of tuck that back in there. I mean, it's better than a broken piece, but I was really hoping when they said smoked, it meant, it would be like dark, it'd be black colored. Hopefully it doesn't leak inside the cab. That would really suck. And let's see what this monstrosity looks like. So I'm gonna say the upside is they work, and the downside is I'm gonna have to get new ones because these suck. So now we're gonna move on to the taillights. I have damage on these taillights right here. Also, the reverse lights don't work on these, and I just figured we'll go ahead and get LED ones too. Hopefully they're not as atrocious as the chrome one up there. Man, I'm really bummed about it. At least it was cheap, but I'm still bummed about it. Everyone knows boxes of really good quality stuff all come from Taiwan. So this is gonna be awesome. I'm super excited. Oh man, would you guys look at this pile of magnificence? This is clearly super premium. stuff. I even got 2 LEDs with them for whatever that's going to do. So we'll figure that out in a second. It looks like there's 2 little bolts here. So it looks like it's an 8mm. I don't think there's any more bolts. I think we just pull. Yeah, that is what we do. Oh, I think I got it, guys. So I think we just pull the bulb out and it probably fits in there. I'm hoping it fits in there. I'm thinking that's how that goes. Yeah, guys, so this just fits in here. And then, careful not to scratch the, clear plastic. But then you just kind of put that in. That's how the key lines up. There you go. So I think now we just plug things in. I mean, it's certainly brighter than what we had before. Let's see what it looks like when I push the brake or try the turn signals, and then we'll also try reverse. Oh, that does look like it's brighter. That's the turn signal. I wonder if reverse works in this mode. I think it does. Yeah, it looks like it worked. The truck rocked. All right, let's take a look at what that looked like in the camera, but it looks better than that third brake light that we just replaced. All right, now that the taillights and the middle brake light are done, let's see if my hood pops open and if we can do these headlights. So this seems like a 5.5mm. We're gonna go ahead and use that. So there may or may not be some bolts on the bottom. Looks like there probably are. I need to figure out how to get to those. So guys, what I found is that the bolts for the bottom of the light are accessible right behind the bumper. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side too. All right, now these bolts are much more accessible, so we should be able to put an extension in there and fish them out. Now we should be able to just kind of get this thing out of there. If we can get it around the fascia here. Oh, I really hope I don't have to take this off. Oh, you know what? It only looks like a few screws. I'll go ahead and do it. I'm gonna put them all right here. All right, now this thing should just come out. So that looks pretty plug and play. The only thing I need to figure out is how I'm hooking up the LEDs. Maybe I can tie them to one of the other sockets. All right, so I'm just gonna unwrap these and we'll see if we can maybe tap these for our LED source. Yep, 12 volt right there. So let's just use these for our LEDs. I think that ought to work. The brown one's gonna be hot, the black one's gonna be ground. Let's go ahead and do it. This ought to be plenty to work with. First, we're gonna do the ground. Then we're gonna do the hot. Our connector's right here. So I'm gonna cut these. I don't know what the hell the point of these was. Like, just save me the 15 cents next time. So in theory, if we did everything right, these should blink when I lock and unlock the car. take this wire loom, tuck everything right back in there. Now we're going to put this bulb back in its socket. Now when I turn everything on, it should work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in this socket right here. Don't know why that's undone. We're going to go ahead and snug that up. Trying to figure out what the best strategy for tucking everything in is going to be. So I can definitely say these look a lot better. They're not bolted in or aligned yet. I'm going to do that later. Right now, it's just I kind of just pushed it against the truck, so it's actually kind of shining me in the face. So I'm going to go ahead and bolt this one down. So guys, check it out. We got everything installed. The bumper's back on. You know, lights look pretty good. I think it gives the car a much more modern look. Let's go ahead and turn them on and see what it looks like. So this is with the lights on. They still need to be adjusted. I'm going to do that against the garage in a minute. So here's the air intake. That's going to be the last thing we install today on this truck. It's an SB filters, kind of cold air intake kit for this truck. The factory intake actually looks pretty decent, but mine has damage on it. The clips are broken, and why get a factory one? I just went and got this SB one. I've used SBs before on my Ram, never had a problem. Let's give this thing a shot. I bet it does great. So the first thing we're going to do is remove that electrical connection. I believe what this particular thing does is it measures the resistance in the filter, and I'm sure it sets some kind of check engine light or something like that. That's kind of a cool thing about these trucks. The little electrical lead will just be down there. Let's not lose that guy. Then there's the MAF right here, which we're going to go ahead and disconnect. So there you go. Just squeeze the clips together and pull. So there's a worm gear style clamp way back there. All right, I loosened that clamp, so hopefully we'll be able to get that out. So supposedly this OE airbox just pulls up and out. Maybe we pull this off for now, just to get it out of our way. Make sure you don't damage the MAF while you're removing it. You will need to reuse the MAF. So our filter actually looks reasonably clean. So from this OE assembly, we're going to want to push out and get this little gasket, little O-ring. You're going to need that. So on the MAF, these are actually safety torques. I'm lucky and I have one. You might not, but I'm going to use it to remove the MAF. If you don't have a safety torques, I suggest buying one. I occasionally run into these applications that have safety torques. I hate it. So here's the MAF. You're going to want to set that aside. Oh, this is actually really cool. They give you the key with the safety torques. I really approve of that move. A lot of people will not have this tool. So you're going to get a little gasket for your MAF. I'm going to set that here. So if we take a look on this exploded view, we can see that the airflow has got to be going like that way. So if we look at our MAF, it says flow that way. So it should drop in this way. There you go. We've got our MAF installed, and the air will shoot that way. So we're going to take our air box, and we're going to take this new seal, and we're going to install it. Make sure it's nice and clean, especially if you let it fall on the floor and stuff. So you just kind of press it in there. It might be a little tight. Sometimes it's good to kind of get in there like that. Just got our MAF cabling. Let's move that there. So I think at this point, we simply insert this. So this thing's got to go far enough in. There's two prongs that have to clip in. We're going to take this other coolant hose thing off right here. Just got to remember to put that back on. So under here, there's a valve cover breather, and I believe the way to get this top tube out that's connected to the turbo is literally just to pull the breather out of the valve cover. It's about as loose as she's gonna get. So that's pretty cool. You can now see the turbo and the impeller. Always fun to see the impeller on a turbo. All right, so we're gonna come back to this tube here. So we need to install that sensor of ours in here along with the grommet. So basically, you're gonna take that grommet that you took off earlier, and kind of work it in. When you're done, it should be nice and flush like this. Now you can install this puppy into the grommet. So this coupler, it kind of sits at the end of the hose. We'll take two of these larger clamps and just kind of throw them on so that they're in here. And now we need to adapt this to the big airbox. So I believe all we're gonna do is kind of, is it really smart to put this on first? I think I'm gonna disagree with the instructions here. So the idea is to push this guy into the airbox. Wow, this sucker is really tight. All right, so if you really lubricate it and push really, really hard, you can get it to pop through there. So they do say you should see this entire lip pop through. Now we should be able to install this thing right over here. I think you're just gonna break it if you install it earlier like the directions indicate. All right, I've reconnected the electrical connection to this sensor here. Here we'll reconnect the MAF sensor. All right, so we're gonna take this little breather and insert it into our shorter tube. So we're gonna wanna put two of the smaller clamps on here and just kind of get them ready. So for some reason, instead of 272 clamps, I got 372 clamps and 164. I'm gonna give that another knock for SB filters. I mean, not a huge deal, but it would be nice if they gave me the right clamps. I might have to scavenge something. So luckily I have 1,000,001 clamp, and I was able to find a proper size one in my basket of clamps. So now we're gonna fit this piece in down here. We're gonna throw a couple of clamps on top of it. I guess I gotta loosen them a little. I'm just gonna leave one of these clamps off, the turbo side one, and I'm gonna put it in when I'm like ready. All right, now you're gonna wanna start tightening these clamps. Once you line everything up and you know you have good clamping, just kind of feel around. Once things heat cycle a couple of times, just come back with a screwdriver and give it another couple of torques. So the filter goes in down this way. We're going to drop it in. So basically what I'm going to do is pop the cover on, and then I'll take it for a drive. I'll see how the headlights do. I'll get them adjusted, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. I'll give them one thing. It looks pretty. Let's go ahead and reconnect all this stuff. Let's take all these things off and see if the truck drives all right. I just got a new all race gas tune for this car that I'm gonna go try out. It's a slight modification of the last tune that Lund, that John Jr. from Lund sent me. He's added a little more timing, so last tune was at 20 degrees. We'll see what this does now. 20 degrees, it was pulling like a beast, and we really weren't getting any knock even between gear shifts or anything like that, so let's do another little drive around and you know, see what the car sounds like. So guys, I just got out of HEB, picked up some groceries. I love using this thing as a grocery getter. It's freaking hilarious to me to pile groceries in here. So I dropped the truck off at PSP today. PSP is gonna do the diesel work on the truck. And this thing came out of Sal's Autosport. Highly recommend those guys. I'll post a link. But they were able to really dial everything in for me to avoid rubbing. My camber and stuff was already pretty good, but we added a little more. And of course it handles like it's on rails now. So that's what we're really talking about stance-wise. It's looking like it's gonna rain, so I need to get the hell out of here. These tires and this car really does not work in the rain. I love the smell of the race gas now that I'm running like straight. It smells like magic markers are coming out of my car's tailpipe. Man, look at people driving, man.